welcome back today for our live broadcast of Breakthrough Boundaries. I have gotten the name down pat.
Good to go. We got the name and we're official. We're legit. We're
We
rocking.
have so many names for so many things, but that's all you need to remember. Breakthrough Boundaries podcast with Austin Spitzenberger and Lindsey Semper. Austin and I are local here in New Braunfels, and we have put together a monthly meetup, New Braunfels Wealth Building Mastermind monthly meetup. It's a mouthful, but basically all that you need to know is we meet every month from 6 to 7:30. It's a networking group, essentially, but the whole idea behind this networking group is to have higher level conversations with people who are looking to build wealth in lots of different ways, not just with real estate, not just with short-term rentals. The reason I'm pointing to Austin in that sense is because
That's what we do. We manage short-term rentals and vacation homes, so property management. And one other plug is we've got all of our, we've got a few episodes streaming now on all the platforms, and we will start uploading more episodes than we've already done so far. And going forward, you'll be able to find us on Apple, Spotify, all the major streaming streaming platforms. And
you asked, we came through, okay? We know like baseball and soccer and all of the things in church in the evenings. It's hard sometimes to get out in the evenings. I know for myself, I'm a mom of 3. And so it's tough to get out in the evenings to go meet with people, to have these higher level conversations. And so because of that, we decided it would be a good idea to find different ways to reach you guys and to get you guys connected to people within our community. Even if you don't live in New Braunfels and you live in another state or you live in Houston, I know that you have a lot of contacts in the Houston area. It's really cool to get connected to people who are having the same conversations as you and having the same interests as you, and have a forum for that instead of sifting through all of the things on Facebook and all of the things in social media. I mean, there's a plethora of information on TikTok and everywhere else. But we are a group that are actually out there doing the things. And so we bring those insights into the group by connecting you to other people who are doing the same things and maybe who have knowledge in areas that you didn't before. So in our monthly meetup, every month we have a guest speaker that comes in and talks. Last month, we had the Bravos come in and talk about scaling your business, right? I haven't had enough coffee this morning yet. About scaling your business. And it was really cool to see some of the takeaways from our last meetup were really the biggest narrative that I heard more than anything was just take action, right? Like take action, even if you don't feel completely ready. If you're 80% there, go and take action.
yeah, one of the big takeaways I got from them, and then Karen on our last podcast, was kind of the idea of doing business and winning with your significant other. So that was something that was great with them, as they built this big business together. Karen's also, great with,
With Bob.
Climate Express. And I think that's another point is, if you come out to our meeting, do what you can to bring your significant other, because if you're interested in these things, you never know like what you can do to kind of get you can get their brain clicking, and they're like, oh, I never thought about this. And maybe I am a little more interested in building wealth than I thought, and maybe you're the one that's wired that way, and you can get your significant other on board that way.
And get in alignment. And you know what? We're going to be meeting at the Weighted Plate, which is a brand new, the Weighted Plate has been in existence for a couple of years, but we have a brand new event venue. It's a bar, speakeasy, and an outdoor area as well. And I am putting that together with my significant other. And so we want to have you guys out, and they make the best espresso martinis in town, hands down. Period. I will fight you on it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the venue we had that we were using was really good, and no hard feelings or anything about that. It was great, and so thankful that they let us use their establishment to meet. But it's great that like we can kind of pour into your business as well while we're doing our meetup, and we'll actually have like a more established home for the future months, so everybody knows like, hey, they meet second Tuesday of every month and they meet here.
Yes. So we want you guys to come out to our monthly meetup. That's the big thing. But if you cannot, that's okay. That's what we have these podcasts here built in for you as well. So like you said, we're going to be streaming them on Spotify, on Apple, on all of the forums that I don't even know about. But J-Rock is with us in the house today, and he knows knows about it. J-Rock is thug laughing it over there.
I am. I have to. I had to wear my my Thug Life shirt today, so represent our 47th presidents today. So hopefully, no.
You can talk today about who you voted for, right?
Yeah,
you can't talk yesterday about it.
Can we talk about what we voted? Yeah.
You can't be mad because what's done is done. So
Right.
like, it's time to move on. And you know, just my plug here is the president's never going to save you, right? Like,
No.
You have to do what you have to do regardless of who's in charge, because at the end of the day,
right, man.
Yeah.
it's kind of beyond your control. So
Yeah.
we got to win.
Perfect. All right. So we've done some of our plugs. We've talked to you about the ways that you can stay connected, invite people to the Facebook group, come out to our monthly meetup at the Weighted Plate, second Tuesday of every month. Which camera am I?
So
Am I
this is
one?
no, you're good. So that one's gonna be.
So let me,
I
totally
love
forgot.
it.
I'm just looking everywhere.
so I want to
I'm
plug
like amateur hour here.
I want to plug one thing. Like, one thing I'm really grateful for you is, like, in this partnership is you're very good at covering all the details and, like, doing the intro.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if this was just started with me, I would just go in and just randomly start talking.
Oh, you
It's
jump
like,
off the 12
Oh, dude, I just have
I'm over
one-
here
I
in
have-
the waiting pool.
I have one speed go, and it's like, you at least cover everything. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
We've got to explain to people.
Yeah, you
what
got to
we
get your
do.
chores done before you can go out and play.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, I'm
Let's get our
grateful
chores
that
done.
you do a good job. Covering that, so.
So let's jump in. We have J-Rock on with us today because we want some interaction from you guys in the Facebook group. We actually are live in our Facebook group right now, and we are looking for interaction from you guys as well. So if you have answers to questions, if you have questions for us, we'd love for you to interact. J-Rock is going to be talking with us today too, and our topic for today is all about how do you keep your mind strong during downtimes. I picked this topic today because I feel like it's uber relevant in the climate and our economic climate that we've had for the last 4 years, really. We saw an extremely profitable, flourishing economic climate in the previous presidency. And again, this is not a political topic. We are talking about other things. It's just what we've seen.
Sure.
So we've seen a lot of things happen over the course of the last 4 years: pandemics, crazy interest rates, crazy housing markets, and businesses closing. Even in our town in New Braunfels, I've lived here. J-Rock, you've been here even longer than I have, but I've been here since 2007, and I've seen places just everything is up for sale right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so there's a reason for that, right? Whether it's the economic climate or taxes or exhaustion on the business part, right? Like just a plethora of businesses just trying to get out there into the world and find a way to be successful. It's tough. And so after you do that for so long, burnout, overwhelm, just general fuck it mentality, right? Like, I just don't want to do this anymore. What else can I do? And I know from a vulnerable standpoint, I've felt that way many times over the last 4 years, especially since COVID. In the midst of good times, you just keep rolling with it, right? And then you're just continuing to figure out on a daily basis how to just keep moving forward. But then all of a sudden the world comes to a screeching halt and you're like, oh, wow, I have some cleaning up to do. And that's not always the fun part. So I've seen vulnerably for me that there have been plenty of times, especially even within the last 6 months to a year, where I'm just like, do I even want to do real estate anymore? Do I want to do the things that I'm doing? And Austin and I had talked a little bit yesterday in talking about what we were going to talk about today, is like discussing 7 streams of income. And we've talked about this in our monthly masterminds before. Having 7 streams of income helps you build this diversification of your wealth, but it also, if it's not managed correctly, can lead into just complete and utter disarray, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the trends that I've seen for like people in my network that are high net worth individuals and people that have won really big in business, I think like the 7 streams of income is not necessarily a myth, but I think that it's not something that comes from the start. Like if you're starting, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to start 7 businesses or I'm going to have 7 different streams of income. What you have to do is you have to be really good at one thing first, and you have to be the guy or the gal that does the one thing. So let's say vacation rental property management. Like I can't do that and go start an ice cream truck and expect to still be successful at, vacation rental property management. So right. I think the point is the 7 streams of income come later. Like you establish the network and you establish the people. And then when you have the money, then you can invest in other businesses as you go. But if you're not the best at what you do, what your bread and butter is right now, everything else is a distraction, because if you have even 2 or 3 other side hustles, they're side hustles that are taking away from your main hustle. So you're not pouring all your energy into one thing. You're pouring all of your energy into 2 or 3 things. So like to me, that's like essentially half-assing it. So like if you're half-assing 2 or 3 things because you can't pour all your energy versus going all in on one thing and kicking that can down the road and then just being successful. So like for your case, like whatever it is that fills up your cup and makes you the most money, that's what we should be doing first. And then once we're doing really well.
Once your systems are established, your processes are established, you've automated some things. I mean, my business coach, Kirsten Oletta, shout out to her.
Shout out.
Shout out to Kirsten. She talks all the time about breaking down your business into the 3 segments of what can you delegate, what can you automate, and what can you duplicate. So duplicating your posts, right? Like I think all the time, there is nothing that drives me more crazy than trying to consistently say the same thing over and over because my clientele doesn't change, right? I can help you overcome hurdles. I can help you fix your credit. I can help you with down payment assistance. We can get through the things that are keeping you from being able to go out and buy a home. I can educate you, blah, 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 all the time. And after 9 years, you just get kind of tired of saying the same thing. And I always think in my mind, like, I have to reinvent this. I have to be different. No, you don't. You just, like you said, you get really good at it, you duplicate it, and then you automate it by giving it to someone else and delegating it. And then that becomes just an automatic process for you that you don't have to think about anymore. And because you don't have to think about it anymore, now you get to go into a different realm.
Yeah, you just have to get used to the mundane and like doing the same thing and doing the boring shit over and over and over again, because what we get as like people that are wired like you and I, we get shiny object syndrome, and then something will pass by and I'll be like, oh, it'd be really cool if I start that. Then you start that.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
That's your ADHD.
Like squirrel.
And then what happens is after 6 months, a year of doing that, it becomes the same feeling of like what it was you were starting, because it was fun at first. And then everybody starts a business and they get this honeymoon phase where they're like, this is so fun. I'm a, ice cream truck owner. And then, 2 years of owning an ice cream truck, like, man, this sucks. I don't want to do it anymore. There's something else I could do over here. Yeah. And I feel like you never experience success. And I think it's really hard to do. Like I've battled with that myself, where it's like, do I really want to do this for the next 5 years? And I'm like, no, I have to. Like it's already been decided, and I've already dedicated, the last 4 to 5 years of my life doing it. So if I quit and I go do something else now, all that work was for nothing. That entire skill set that I learned was for nothing, because now I'm going to go do something else.
That's crazy you are saying that, man. Like, cause like even right now, I'm actually in the middle of that right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I don't know if I should take my foot out of the other thing and put it in the other. And then, then we think about finances and everything else, and it's a little scary sometimes, but
correct.
We do have to, we got to figure it out,
right.
But, on what we're going to do. So
I had someone ask me a question the other day. Might have been my business guy. I'm trying to remember who, but I'm talking about this topic today because, like you, I'm very much in that realm, right? Like, where do I go? I have all these different places that I could invest time and energy into. Which do I put my foot into? And the question was, if real estate was doing really well right now and you were closing 4 deals a month or more, would you stop doing real estate? And I was like, well, no. And they're like, well, then don't stop doing real estate, right? Like that, it doesn't, if you were making, if the money was coming in and you would enjoy it then that tells you that you don't need to get out of real estate, right? Like that you still enjoy it on some level. It's still helping and providing for you.
But what about the person that may not have as much energy as you?
Right.
Like, and are you now, is it an energy thing? Is it a, do I have the energy to even do this? Because then again, I kind of want to do that other thing,
right?
So that comes into perspective.
Well, that's what she says a lot too.
Really?
Is really your most valuable resource. Everything should be driven by energy and time, right? Mm-hmm. Everything should be driven by energy and time, because where you spend the most amount of your time should be obviously given the most amount of your energy. But if it's not good energy, and if it's exhausted energy, and if it's overwhelmed energy, then the money's not going to follow. Mm-hmm. If you're investing the right time and energy into the right things, into the things that drive you, fulfill you, make you feel joy, the money will follow naturally, because people naturally want to magnetize towards that. And so that's what I've been struggling with, right? Like, am I naturally involved into this career? And it feels a little bit scary coming out into a public forum saying that, because people are like, oh, I'm not going to use her as a real estate agent. She's not going to be around for the next. No, I'm still going to be here, guys.
Well, let's go ahead, Austin. I was going to go to the chat, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was just going to say, I think when times are hard in, like, say, real estate as a agent, broker, whatever right now, I think if you're experiencing hard times and you're already kind of at a higher performing level for compared to most agents, the people that are below you are going to quit. And I've seen this in my industry. So if you can hang on, there's fruit at the end of it. And I've seen this in the vacation rental market, because during COVID, everybody got into Airbnb and VRBO and property management and stuff like this. And a lot of these people are falling off because over the last 2 to 3 years, essentially the term they say in our industry is you could put a portal potty up on Airbnb and it would book and crush it, right? And now it's not like that anymore, because COVID's over and people aren't traveling as much. And that whole, peak of the vacation rental market is kind of past. Mm-hmm. So the real operators are going to stay around and continuing to do it for a long term. So I think it's that point where you have to just keep pushing through. Mm-hmm. And as a top performer as you are, like, you're gonna outstand the test of time, and it's gonna be worth it at the end of it for you. But a lot of people are gonna fall off that got into it because they thought, well, I'm gonna just make money while times are good, because everybody's selling houses. Now that they're not, things are different. So
I agree. It's valid.
What's the question?
So no, we're gonna go to the comments here. So Yitzat Pearson, he says, listen to others who are way smarter than myself, who have been through the tough times before. Being open to learning and having a growth mindset, reading books, listening to motivational podcasts and audiobooks, getting out and getting involved in groups like yours, getting different perspective so that you're not in an echo chamber.
I love that. That was a big thing for me. It's last year was realizing and looking around and saying, I'm not sitting at the right table. I'm not able to have these upper level, because even when I would try to have these upper level conversations. And it's not to say that, like, that's what I always want to talk about. I mean, Lord knows I talk about what to buy on Temu too. I mean, like, I'm a normal person. I'm not walking around constantly talking about, build your own bank concepts. But I wanted to have those conversations. I wanted to be able to grow and to get into a higher level, and I just didn't know how. And so rather than just sitting there and saying, I don't know, I said, well, who knows? Like you've talked about, who is around me that's doing the things that I think are worthy or influential, or who are making moves. And because of that, it would be good to sit at their table. And what I've seen is they don't have it figured out either.
Nope.
That's the nice thing about it, is we feel often intimidated to sit at these different tables, to meet with different people, to talk to people that are wealthy or uber successful, or intimidating or out of our league. But when you sit down and talk with them, it's the same thing every time. It's just like talking to a celebrity, right? You realize, like, they put their pants on one leg after the other, but they've done some things in their life and made decisions in crucial parts of their life that have helped them get to where they want to be.
Yeah, I think we all kind of got to a point where, like, either somebody pushed us or motivated us. I said this the other day when I think you posted something, Austin. I was like, there's a lot of people out there that are successful off of someone else's hurt. Mm-hmm. Like, somebody went through something that motivated them to do something so strong that they're now living this life, or they got this job or corporate thing or whatever that they're able to give to others by giving them a job, giving them opportunity. And that came through somebody else's hurt. And I think sometimes we get caught up in our own thinking, and sometimes we just need somebody to come kick us in the butt a little bit, you know?
We just need a push.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us kind of lose out on that sometimes by holding up a wall that you don't even need to hold up, right? Leanne says she's love seeing you guys doing this. I think that's 100,000 percent agree.
Thousand.
Yeah, I'm living proof that too many things at once is in fact too much.
Yes,
good stuff. And then last, Ben says it's hard and scary, but exactly 100. Got to figure it out. Ben just opened up a restaurant, you know, in Bernie. So shout out to Ben. And
That's
I can't even imagine him having to do that. Still doing his insurance business, still running, you know, helping doing things here in New Braunfels with his other businesses. So it's a grind. So shout out to Ben on that. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, no telling how he gets through it. But I mean, we all figure it out.
Yeah,
right?
Ben, you got to tag your business on the page. We'd love to see where. I love Bernie. I will drive to Bernie
it's
for some
good
restaurant
Mexican
time.
food.
Is it?
Yeah. So you got to get out there.
That's awesome. So let's answer our question, right? So our topic tip for today is when you're in burnout, when you're overwhelmed, when you've maybe spun too many plates with your 7 streams of income. I know, like, I have felt that hard within the last couple of months in joining with Cody Tier and opening the weighted plate and then acquiring a second property in the midst of all of that and dealing with some personal things that were going on in our world. Nothing scary, just medical stuff. But it led me to a point where I figured out where my tap out point was. I figured out where my point of if I don't let something go or change some things in my world, I'm just going to end up in a whole breakdown, which is good. I've finally reached. Most of you out there are like, when did she stop? I reached the point. I figured it out. And so from that point, then, what do you do to not just lay on the floor in a fetal position and say, I give up? Like, what do you do to keep your mind strong during downtimes and stay consistent? And how do you keep moving forward? And I think, like, this is a great topic for you because you do.
Yeah, I think, like, there's a lot of factors in life that come before business, and I don't really prioritize business. Like, it's just fun. It's part of my identity. It's what I do, and I love doing what I do. But on top of that, I can think of at least 10 different things that are more important than my business, right? So, like, I think it's more important to stay consistent in having a healthy mind, feeding your mind, like Yitz was saying, like, don't listen to rap music at the gym, even though I still listen to gangster rap music at the gym. But try and replace
Thug life over here is like, what?
Kind of hypocrite. But, like, whatever you can do to replace music with healthy podcasts. What does your diet look like? How much are you exercising? Like, a non-negotiable for me is exercise twice a day. Lift in the morning, run in the evening. Like, I think it's in order to control things within your business, you have to be the best version of yourself first. Because if you can't show up as the best version of yourself first, you're not going to win in business in the first place. So I really don't prioritize business at all. I prioritize, like, I'm not going to put anything in business before my morning workout, and I'm not going to put, I'm not going to jeopardize my diet. I'm not going to jeopardize my evening workout. So all that to be said, I think, like, if you're of healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, you can figure out the business thing, and don't overload your plate too much with stuff that, that takes a lot of your time. And I think we've both already definitely done that, right?
Yeah,
Like, I know I have too, but, like, I don't know. The answer to the question, it's kind of long-winded, but I think just staying consistent and being really who you are and what you stand for.
And it sounds like in self-care, maybe,
yes.
Right? Like, and I think it goes back to what we were talking about a moment ago, is just time and energy. If you aren't investing time and energy into your body, into your health, into your mental health, it's going to bleed into all other areas. And we've heard it so many times before, right? Like, take care of your body, go out and connect with the earth, blah, 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 right? All of those things. But if you don't, it does lead to this trickle effect down into everything else. And I've seen that over and over and over and over again in my life personally. Where are we with time, J-Rock?
Oh, you're good. We're about 25 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, personally, in answering this question, was my journey. I don't necessarily love that word, but my journey through 75 Hard. So I did 75 Hard in September of 22. I'm trying to remember. No, when was COVID? 20? Yeah, so 21. I did 75 Hard in September of 2021. And I had been putting it off. I'd been asked to do 75 hard by my team lead at the time multiple times, and I just laughed at her. I was like, I
don't need that.
There is no way I am doing 75 hard. That sounds miserable. Why on earth would I do that? And it goes back to just like a mental toughness challenge. So those of you who are not familiar with what 75 hard is, there's a gentleman, his name is Andy Frisella. He has a podcast, a really, really influential podcast called Real AF. If you really want to get some motivation in the morning, look for Real AF by Andy Frisella. I will tell you, if you're scared of the F word, don't listen to it. He drops a lot of F-bombs, but I'm telling you, there's nothing more motivating than an F-bomb. So he's just very cut, dry, straight to the point, but very successful, and built multiple businesses in I wouldn't say necessarily a short amount of time, but over the course of his business career, and is extremely wealthy and disciplined. So he created this program called the 75 Hard Challenge. He's written a book about it as well, and it's it's simple in the sense that it gives you daily tasks that you do for 75 days straight. No breaks, no off days, no Sundays off, no nothing. And you have to do these tasks in those 75 days straight. And if you miss one task, one day, you have to start over. And so a lot of it goes back to core principles: discipline, integrity, perseverance, resilience. It just builds these muscles within you that you kind of let lack during downtimes, during hard times, when you've been trying to consistently post on social media and you're like 30 reels for 30 days and you get to day 12 and you're like, oh, I'm tired of doing reels. I don't want to do them anymore. And so then in our mind, we go, oh, well, we've done 12 days. Like, that's good. But why am I not seeing results? Well, because it's not consistently done long enough, and it's not done long enough to even really establish a habit at that point. And so then, yes, we start seeing those things just, again, the trickle effects kind of come in. But rules of 75 hard, do you want to go over them?
Yeah, I just have my app up here.
Yeah.
45-minute workout. One has to be outdoors, and then one regular 45-minute workout.
So 2 workouts
push-ups
a day.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 workouts a day. Read 10 pages, drink 1 gallon of water, follow a diet. Like, to me, whenever I've done it, it's never been like a specific diet. It was like no sweets / sugars and no late night snacks. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to like get really detailed with this stuff. It's like, hey,
you don't have to do like, the what is the Mediterranean diet?
Yeah,
or
you don't have to be that
no
crazy.
Carb diet. Yeah.
Like if it's just like, hey, I have a problem like eating too much candy or sugar, or whenever we go out to eat, I always get the cheesecake. Like, do something that's challenging so you can drop that. So it just needs to be something that's like a vice that you go to, that you can challenge yourself to get away from. And then no cheat meals or alcohol. I think the hardest one for me on this list is definitely alcohol. I like to drink, so that's fun. So like
most of us do.
Yeah. So a few times that I failed it was because of alcohol, and then I've completed it, and I think twice now, and then the other time I did it like a few months ago, and I was on day like 48. And the other thing you have to do is you have to take a progress picture every single day, like a selfie in the morning. And I went to bed, and like that was the easiest freaking thing on the list. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, I didn't take a picture. So I started over.
And you have to admit that you failed.
Yeah, you can't just like post about it on your Instagram story and say I did it, and then you forgot to take a picture one day because you're a liar, and then it just shows that you have to live with yourself. You might convince other people that you completed it, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, it's your integrity. Like, you didn't do it. I was like, I posted it, but I was like, dude, I failed on day 48 because I forgot to take a picture.
Yeah. So when I started looking into 75 hard, like the tasks themselves seem simple, right? But if you have, the only way that 75 hard truly makes transformations in your life is by you following the 75 hard guidelines to a T. And I will tell you that I am the most gray person that you have ever met in your life, right? Like, if it tells you a gallon of water a day, which is I think it's 127 ounces or something like that. If I drink 125 ounces, I didn't drink a gallon. But normal Lindsey would say, I mean, it's close enough.
Hey, J-Rock, leave that review up there. I wanted to say something. So he's got like on another computer, you don't have to share it, but like he's got like Andy Frisella's thing, and there's somebody that left like a 2-star review. 2 stars for contributing to a healthier lifestyle. And then he's talking about something about it's a fitness trainer, a fitness program. This person that left the review, they don't understand. Like, yeah, I'm not going to read all that, but the summary of what I'm seeing here is like they're not understanding what the point of the program is. It's not a fitness challenge. It's to cultivate the discipline so you can keep doing the same thing every day. Because it might be easy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday you get hit by a train and you're like, well, I still got to get these things done. Mm-hmm. And like I had the worst day of my life, this, that, and the other, and say, okay, well, you committed to doing this. So you need to cultivate that discipline. Like, hey, this shit is still got to get done.
It still has to get done.
And I think it just kind of more of transforms you into a more powerful human. I think the fitness aspect of it and taking the selfie and looking at yourself in day 1 to day 75 is just a byproduct of the actual program. Like you're just going to get fit in the process by exercising and doing a diet. But it's not a diet and nutrition plan.
I love that you say that because like the byproduct aspect, right? Like we were talking a moment ago, when you take care of yourself with your time and energy, the byproduct is your business grows, your relationships grow, your money grows, your income, like all of those things grow.
But
because
you grow first.
Right, you grow first. And that's exactly what 75 Hard does. And this is not a plug for Andy Frisella. This is hey,
if you're ever in New Braunfels, Andy, like you could come on the podcast anytime. Like I won't even talk, dude. Like just
we've got lots of people who want to do it. But J-Rock and I were talking a minute ago, like right before the podcast, about doing 75 Hard. Yeah. What prompted me to do it when I did it was I was at a space in my life post-COVID that I wouldn't say I was at the lowest part of my life. I had plenty of money in the bank account. We were closing lots of deals. I was married with 3 kids. We had a beautiful home. We had just installed a pool in the backyard. We had parties every weekend. We were doing all of the things on the outside looking in that seemed very joyful, right? Like it was wonderful. In that time though, as well, I saw my mental stability, like my mental strength, my mental stability starting to slip. I was gaining a lot of weight, right? From just fucking off, right? Like just we were drinking. We'd come home from work, we'd get in the pool, we'd hang out with the kids, we'd have a few drinks, we'd eat like crap.
DoorDash is coming in hot.
And then the weekend comes, and where does everybody want to hang out? Well, they want to hang out at our house because we have a pool, and it was just parties and things and events, and we were doing well. It was 2021. That was the height of the real estate market. I closed more in transactions in 2021 than I ever have. And it was great in essence, but I knew that I was doing horrible things for my mindset, my body, my marriage, my relationship with my kids. My balance was way off. And like J-Rock and I were talking about a moment ago, like I needed something to just take me and go,
boom,
stop, fix this.
Yeah, I think there's a vice on this list, and everybody's vice is different depending on who you talk to. Like I might say alcohol and being silly and forgetting the picture because I forget that. But like to me, I do the 2 45-minute workouts every single day regardless. And a lot of people would be like, dude, 2 workouts a day, that's crazy. But I'm already like, no, that's what I'm doing. Other things on this list are harder, especially the reading 10 pages. I hate the reading, but I force myself to do it.
And that's the thing. It has to be a self-development book, and it cannot be an audible. You cannot listen to 10 pages a day. You have to read them because there is something psychologically that changes when we watch a book go from thick on this side thick on this side to thick on this side, and seeing the development of the progress that you're making by completing that book. I read more books during 75 Hard than I ever have my whole life, including college. Yeah. I would read the spots that I needed to read, and that was it for the
reading
assignment.
Sucks. Like, I don't know. I just do it because
it's the slowing down part.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's guys that are watching this, and guys that are like that have been to these networking groups with these guys, like this is kind of big for me because again, like I have never really been a part of a networking group really, to be honest with you. So just to be working with y'all, it's pretty awesome to be in a room I should fucking be in. Not a room that I wanted to be in or, just happen to be in. It's a room that I should be in because, and I say that because I grew up in a small mind mentality of people that were W-2s and never 1099s and never was taught certain right things. But, yeah, man, I mean, if you're just barely joining this group or even just this podcast part of it, like, y'all have been motivating the shit out of me as of late. And I think this is kind of like the push I needed too, even as well. Like, I was my birthday the other day and I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, I need a change in my life. Like, what do I do? And literally yesterday was just like looking for like, be real, like jobs or different things that I can even do because I need right now.
Yeah.
Plus, you went through like a recent like injury, right, or surgery or something like that.
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah, so
that's hard, dude.
Even
that
looking
shit
at
is
that
very
now.
discouraging, especially like when you're limited by your body, like you can't.
And it sucked because whenever I was trying to get back in the gym, almost 8 months after, I couldn't. Like my body physically wouldn't let me lift weights, and I'm like, damn, am I going to strain something?
You mentally, it screws with you.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that I love most about 75 Hard was my life at that point felt so out of control. I didn't know which direction I wanted to take, who were my real friends, who weren't. I didn't know if I wanted to be in my marriage at that point. I didn't feel like I was doing well. I was half-ass in everywhere, like we were talking about a moment ago. I was trying to do work really well, and work was extremely busy, but my kids are over here, and we had just come out of a pandemic. I had a baby that was 2 years old, 2, 5, and 7 at that point. And so they needed a lot of my time and energy, and I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be able to step away from working as much, but work was so demanding at that point. Being on a real estate team where I was that year in particular, I was the top producer. And so there was a level of expectation of like perform. And I just felt like Pure Country where they talk about the dancing chicken. I felt like George Strait where he's like, fuck it. I'm going out. I'm leaving town. Nobody's going to find me. And I just want to tap out. But I knew that I couldn't. Like, you can't just tap out and leave one day. So what did I needed to do something. And so 75 Hard, I looked at it again. And instead of looking at it as something that I had to do, right? Like I had to give up alcohol and I had to work out twice a day and I had to read. Instead, when you look at it, you're supposed to see it as these are I think how many things are there a day? 6 or 7?
Something like that.
Yeah. There's
5 rules.
5 rules. Okay. There's 5 rules. There's 5 things that I get to be in control of every day. That's it. And if nothing else gets done that day, at least I did those 5 things. And they go back to taking care of myself as a human, taking care of myself as an influencer, as a mom, as a business person. And again, like we talked about before, naturally and organically, the rest of your world works out because you're not worrying about everything else. All that I'm worried about is carrying around my little pink drink baby, my water baby, I called it, because I got to fill it up twice a day and I got to drink that twice a day. And I focus on finishing that water. And now I'm to the point where like, I can't go anywhere without water because I never drank water before 75 Hard, ever. Like it never was there. It just established these really cool habits. And so I knew that all that I needed to do today were those 5 things. And that if all of the other stuff fell in, it fell in. But one of the things that I feel like transformed during that time was initially I kind of kept it to myself. Right? Like I just wanted to do these 5 things for myself and just do them daily. When I started opening up and sharing it out with people and sharing the experiences that I felt during different stages of the 75 days, I found this group and this community of people that I like never knew were even watching or existing at that time. And it gave me the push and the encouragement to keep going forward. Because I'll tell you, somewhere around like day 22, you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is so stupid. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Just stop. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you stop, but I care. And then somewhere around like day 45 or 50, you like really hate the rest of the world. Because you're like 2 months into this stuff and you look around and everybody's over there like, I can't even find time to work out. I mean, I literally said that yesterday. I just can't find time to work out. And you're like,
I've been working out every day.
I find time 45 minutes twice a day for the last 50 days to work out. And you're telling me you can't find time? And so like your brain starts to shift into this like, oh, I really do have my stuff figured out now. And that's what gets you to push to the end, right? That's what gets you through the last 20 days that you really need. Because the last 20 days, for me too, and I'm sorry, I'm like, I get excited about this.
Get after it.
It's all good. You're good.
For me, what helped me say, okay, let's do it, was that I knew that there was an expiration date. I knew that there was an end date. When I start looking at things like what you were talking about, like eat right, work out twice a day, do the thing, like read, do all the things. And I start thinking about having to transform and do all of that all at once. And then that is the rest of my life. I'm like, well, I mean, I kind of want to go to Mexico and have a margarita at some point in my life. I don't want it to like be my life forever.
I think that's perfect, like what you said, because it changed my life the first time I completed it, like maybe a little over 2 years ago. And like what I took with me after I completed it was a lot of this stuff. But like, let's say there's a day that comes, then maybe I'll drink. Or there's another day that comes that I'm going to order or I'm going to go through the Raising Cane's drive-thru because that's like my poison right there.
Raising
yeah,
Cane's.
dude, the sauce.
And then they're open till 1 a.m. Gee.
Yeah. And it's like if you haven't had Raising Cane's, you just haven't had it enough because they put like something in there that's addictive, and then you'll want it more, right? Like so. Anyways, that's my cheat meal. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is like once you go through, like a lot of those core principles stick, and you just have to stick to them. So like for me, the 2 workouts a day is non-negotiable. 10 pages a day is non-negotiable. If I go to an event or a social event, I'll have a few beers, whatever. Who cares? I'm not gonna die. And then. Drinking a gallon of water a day, like the things that were like, I guess, sort of easier on that list, they actually stuck, which before 75 hard, I didn't do anything on that list. So I guess if you want to be the extreme person that does like the entire program and lives by that, like,
yeah, there is a Live Hard program where you do it 365 days a year.
Yeah, and I've never done that. And I really don't have aspirations to do that. But I think like taking the nuggets away of like, hey, if I can stick to like most of these things every single day. And like, I know once a month or a couple times a month, I might have a few drinks or, I might have a cheat meal once or twice a month. Like I'm good because most of the stuff is going to continue to get done every single day. So I don't know.
The one other thing, because we're almost out of time. The one other thing I think that my biggest takeaway from the first time of doing 75 hard and considering to do it again, mainly because like J-Rock and I were talking about a minute ago, like I just need something right now to just go fucking focus.
Yep.
Focus. You've been off for a minute. Yes, like things are getting tough, like things are getting down. You feel a little bit like a flapping fish out of water. Focus. And I've been told that so many times over and over, like go step in the grass and ground yourself, do meditation, do all these things. I just don't do them. I don't slow down long enough to do them, not to do them consistently until I'm forced to, until it says this is what you have to do. The thing that helped me get through 75 hard was having an accountability partner. I had a friend of mine, her name is Tristan Robertson. She's still out there doing real estate and doing amazing in life. And she started 75 hard on Labor Day. And I was like, girlfriend, I just need Labor Day.
No, she's
just give me Labor Day. And so I started the day after her. And we finished 75 hard together. It was so nice having that human that every morning when I woke up and I was on my way to the gym, to Apex Fitness, shout out to y'all, I would send her a video. And I'm like, I'm really tired today and I'm really sore and I don't want to do this. And she'd send me a video back and she's on her bicycle, like with no hands. And she's like, look, I can do no hands now. And it was just like, it was nice and comforting. There was a couple days where it got really cold and we bundled up and went for a walk in Fisher Park. It was just like, it was so cool having someone in that process with you that when you got to day 50 and you're like, God, I am so mad at the rest of the world, that she's like, I know, I am too. It's weird. it's just like anything else in life. It's nice when you have a best friend who has a baby with you at the same time, because you're just kind of living the sucky life for a little while for the first few months. It's just nice having that person with you to hold you accountable, because you know that if you back out, you're failing them.
Yeah.
Right? You're making it harder for that person to continue moving forward by themselves. And so that's really, for me, why I kept going forward, was because I had an accountability partner.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to put out to the group right now. If you're still here, if you're still watching, I know it's been 45 minutes, I know it's been a minute, but I'm going to post something on the page as well right after this.
Thank you.
J-Rock and I are going to do 75 hard. Can't believe it.
Accountability partner. There you go.
Oh my God.
I'm in. No, I really am in. So
Okay.
let's do this shit.
Here's
need to
my
make the
one
decision.
thing. I have a vacation booked from November 15th to the 18th, and I am not doing 75 hard on vacation. I will do 75 hard
The moment you get
over
back.
Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I think is going to be really tough, because last time I lined it up to where I finished 75 hard the week of Thanksgiving.
So
So-
you have to start after that. Number one.
Start after what?
After your trip, right?
The trip.
Okay, after, because you can't like take a break, right?
Right.
But the thing is, you got to get really hungover, right? so whenever you take like a really hungover day, and then you just feel really bad, and you're like, dude, I'm not doing this.
I don't want to do
And then
this
you're like,
anymore.
okay, it starts now, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that was brutal. So like now I can get the momentum.
Yeah. So I'm inviting J-Rock right here on
Let's
the
do it.
screen. November 19th,
November 19th.
we're going to start
I
75
got
hard.
13 days to live it up.
We go to the
13
same.
days.
We go to the same gym,
Yeah.
Jay. So
All
I
right.
got my eye on you.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
There's either- I'm just kidding.
And if
But-
anybody out there in our group wants to join, we can create an accountability group.
Damn, that would
Yeah,
be cool.
that'd be cool.
For the 19th.
Accountability group based off of our mastermind group.
Are you going to join too?
Do
Do it. Just say yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're
I guess
already
you're
doing
putting me
all
on
of
the
it.
spot. Yeah, I guess so. I pretty much do all of it. I just
So,
got to sacrifice.
Austin
like,
told
a
us his
drinking
hardest
game.
part. What would be your hardest part of it?
My hardest
Is
part?
it the alcohol part or what?
It is initially, right? Like for me, what I found the first time doing 75 hard was that alcohol was just something I did because I was bored.
Yeah,
Right? Like I just did
likewise.
it because it was just there. And when I didn't have the opportunity to do it anymore, I found other things to fill my time, right? Like I went for so many walks with my kids. So many walks. It naturally, again, going back to that time and energy, and the byproduct was I naturally spent more time and I was more present with my children. And I was
they
like,
got outside,
wow.
too.
And they got outside, right? Like we spent more time together because I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to gristmill and watching them play while I sit with a sangria. I was out there playing with them. And so initially, yes, the alcohol is hard, but once it becomes not part of your life anymore, you just don't think about it anymore. You know? So for me, the second workout of the day is tough, like just finding the time to do it. And what I found over time was I got more creative with it. I remember watching an episode of Yellowstone one night, and I just did 45-second planks. 45 seconds on, 20 seconds off. 45 seconds on, 20 seconds off. And it's crazy because you're like, you did that for 45 minutes? Like, hell yeah, I did, because I got to sit there and watch Yellowstone while I did it, and it was a workout.
There you go.
So
you got to be creative.
you have
man.
to be
You
creative.
have to be
Push-ups and
creative.
sit-ups in the house, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
if times are tough, just go
Just
into
do
a
it.
room and do push-ups and sit-ups.
Yeah,
do
so you
200
don't
push-ups, 200 sit-ups.
You don't have to go
Yeah.
to the gym, but again, keep in mind one of the workouts has to be outside. So
Yeah.
I would do a lot of workouts on my back patio, or I'd take walks. I do yoga outside. So it's just you have to like.
And
again,
it's 45 minutes the whole day, though, right?
No,
or two
45-minute
45-minute workouts. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty damn tough. Yeah.
So again, that's kind of where the accountability partner came in. Like we would pick days during the week, not every day, but we would pick days during the week where we would just go on a walk together. And it was nice because I knew that like I had her to, we got it done, right? The other piece of it was like you can't do them back to back. So you can't do an hour and a half workout. You have to take a break, walk away from what you're doing, and then come back to a second workout that is different than the first.
I had a friend doing that, and she was telling me she was doing 75 hard, and she said, I just did my 45, and I just went outside and did it. I was like, I didn't have the heart to tell her. I was like, she was like,
Yeah.
I'm on day this, and I'm so excited. And I was like, that doesn't count.
Because again, it
I was
just
like,
goes
okay,
back
good
to-
job. Yeah, you got it. Just keep going because it's
Yeah.
like you got the momentum. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're doing
Yeah.
something. It's
Again,
fine.
it just goes back to the mental toughness, like making a
Yeah.
point to do the
I think,
things.
and I haven't been disciplined like this since I wrestled.
Yeah.
Like, that was.
But you
10
coach
years ago.
you coach basketball, right? So like
Yeah.
if you're coaching your AAU team or something, like just jump in and run. Like jump in on their 5-on-5 or something.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
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 a
yeah.
basketball
Or while you're
practice
coaching,
is-
just run up and down the court. Like say you're playing ref, but make it a sprint, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then do that for 45 minutes. It checks the box. Like if you're getting a cardio workout, there's ways that you can get creative with it to where it's like, I didn't think that constituted as a workout, but that's a workout,
Yeah.
dude.
That's what's up. I had to play some open dodgeball or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open
So
gym
I think
dodgeball.
it would be really cool, and it's nice to have a group there together. So if you want to join the group, let us know. Drop a line in the comment box right now. We're also going to post about it. I'll talk about it at the Mastermind group next Tuesday. I think it would be really cool, and give each other examples of ways that they've done their workouts, or books that they're reading, or a really cool cup that works to help refill, so you get your gallon of water done a day. But for me, it was the second workout was consistently the hardest, and the reading was a little bit tough. I ended up putting reading it to the very end of the day, and there were multiple days where I was sitting on the couch, like in the middle of my book, going.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe that's a good way to help you get some rest. Yeah, because I'm like that too.
Pick a book of like area of weakness, like something that you want to work on. Like, like if you can't delegate, read a book on delegating. If you,
who, not how.
whatever.
Is there a book on live somewhere? You can pick
Book
up?
on life. I don't know, maybe a few.
It was a funny. I'll just say this one last thing. I was on a podcast the other day where I was at my house and I have my gallon jug, and it's like this. It's like a industrial gallon jug. It's not like a regular plastic one. So like I took a break or something and took a drink of it. It's like, it's massive. And the guy, I thought it was so funny. He's like, dude, why are you drinking out of a trash can? I was like, yeah, it looks like a little mini like paperweight. I don't know. That was funny. But anyway,
That's hilarious.
All right. So wrapping up today, don't forget we have 2 podcasts a month. We do them on every first and third Wednesday following our monthly meetup, which is every second Tuesday of the month. We probably should just have everything on a Wednesday, but whatever. We like to make things complicated, keep you on your toes.
Yep.
We're going to be at the Weighted Plate at 5441 FM 1102 out off Hunter Road, just right outside of Green. Next Tuesday from 6 to 7:30. We are looking for a sponsor for that event. We'll be putting that on the Facebook group as well. The sponsorship is basically just bringing out some food and snacks for people to hang out with. Please bring people, bring your colleagues. It's not a one industry kind of networking group. It's an open forum. Any level of investors are invited. Any level of business owners are invited. We want to see you guys out there at our monthly meetup. Thank you so much to J-Rock for joining us today.
For sure. Heck yeah. Thank you
And for being my accountability partner. I'm not kidding. I'm ready. I will tell you that, like, just one takeaway from me. I had never, following 75 Hard, I had never been so healthy, so clear, so focused, and so rewarded by one thing that I had ever done in my life. And it changed so much for me mentally, and got me to a space that I didn't. It brought me so much clarity, because the world gets so quiet during 75 Hard. It's weird. And I was always afraid of the world getting quiet because I didn't want to sit with my thoughts. And it forced me to sit with my thoughts. I used alcohol to pacify. I used being busy to pacify. I worked to pacify thoughts. And when I didn't have that ability to do that anymore, it really did force me to figure some things out about myself.
Yeah, I think where I'm at right now in life, I think this is, again, something that I need, and all the things that you just said, I'm looking for. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I need some accountability.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that we. It's so crazy how this thing's gonna come.
It
I
just
just
happens.
need to be in better health too. It's tough right now. So
Yeah.
I'm ready for that mainly. So thanks.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time on our podcast. Thank you, Austin, for your insight and your laughs. You're always good for a few laughs on
try
the
to make
podcast.
people laugh every now and
No
then,
creeper today, but whatever.
Next episode.
And thank you so much to Social Plug Podcast for helping us in Collab Space Studios. If you want to start a podcast or just do some cool video stuff, come out to Collab Space Studios. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Signing out.